Hey guys, this is Mike Mahaffey, the old bastard BJJ guy, here for BJJ Mental Models. Back in my day, we had to walk uphill in the snow both ways to get to the academy just to learn some crappy technique from a random purple belt. You kids have it so easy because now you can just subscribe to BJJ Mental Models Premium and get tons of great audio courses to learn new techniques, enhance your mindset, and entertain yourself. You can even get personalized rolling reviews from some of your favorite BJJ Mental Models coaches, including me. It's like having your own seminar, you spoiled little whippersnappers. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe to BJJ Mental Models Premium right now, get off my lawn, and go train.
Hey, welcome to BJJ Mental Models. I'm Steve Kwan. BJJ Mental Models is your guide to a conceptual and intelligent jiu-jitsu approach, and in this week's mini-episode, we're back again with another mechanical mental model, the nuts and bolts of how our bodies actually move in alignment with each other in jiu-jitsu. I hope this helps change the way that you think about some of those technical details that maybe you struggle with. I'm going to talk about a concept here today called Ratchet control. To the best of my knowledge, this name comes from Rob Bernacki from Island Top Team and BJJ Concepts. I first started hearing this when he and my brother started talking about this and the importance of this idea. Basically, this is a way that you can use your opponent's body like a ratchet. And if you don't know what I really mean by that, think of, if you've ever tried to assemble something from IKEA, those weird little Allen keys they give you that are shaped like an L, they're at a 90-degree angle, and you stick them into something and then you kind of turn them and it tightens things. We can call that mechanical concept a ratchet, when you create that 90-degree thing that you spin and it tightens something else. In jiu-jitsu, where this comes up is with how we control our opponents by their arms and their legs. The most obvious way to think about this is their arms. So let's talk about the kimura, because this is probably the most obvious example of when you are creating a ratchet with your opponent's body. The way that you do a kimura, of course, whatever grip you want, is probably going to be a figure 4 on their arm, and then you basically turn their arm like a ratchet, and that is how you get that rotation on the shoulder that forces them to submit. Now, many years ago, Ryan Hall popularized a concept, at least I think he popularized it, that he called the open elbow. And the idea is if you're doing something like a kimura, what you want to do is you want to pull your opponent's elbow free from their body. If their elbow is connected to their ribs or their torso, it's really hard to get a kimura. So if you want that kimura, one of the most important things is to pull the elbow free from the body, and that's the idea of an open elbow. You are opening up that elbow. Longtime listeners of BJJ Mental Models will have heard me talk about how important it is to keep your limbs coiled, your elbows pinched in. That's the flip side of the coin here. If I am attacking your elbow for something like a kimura, I want to open that elbow space. Whereas if I'm the person receiving the kimura, one of the ways that I defend myself is by keeping my elbows in tight. And that's why, as part of a general good jiu-jitsu advice, we tell people often, in most cases, you want to keep your elbows in. That's just good advice. It doesn't always apply, but it's like how in boxing we tell people chin down, hands up, just a general concept that is going to be helpful as a default position to be in if you don't really know what else you should be doing. So in the context of the kimura, what the person doing the kimura is trying to do is pull the elbow open. And when they do that, they create that ratchet. If I pull your elbow open, ideally I want to have your arm shaped like an L. I want it to be at a 90-degree angle relative to your body, perpendicular. That's a really weak position for your arm to be in. It's very hard for you to engage muscle if I've pulled your elbow that free. It's a little bit different with legs because we don't have the same kind of flexibility with our legs that we do with our arms. It's going to be a little bit tough to pull someone's leg out to a 90-degree angle like you could with a kimura. But in general, the same principle applies. A lot of rotational leg locks like heel hooks, they work by creating a ratchet on your opponent's leg. The angle often comes across a little bit different just due to the different levels of flexibility in our arms and legs, but the idea is the same. I am creating a ratchet. And this is a powerful structure to think about whenever you are trying to attempt a rotation-based submission or technique. So the kimura comes to mind. The Americana is another great one. It's very hard to finish someone with an Americana if their elbow is pinched into their ribs. That's part of the reason why we pull the arm free. So in many situations, we are looking to create ratchet control. We want to pull that elbow free. If I can do that, if I can pull your elbow away from your torso, Now I can turn your arm into a ratchet, like an Allen key, and I can get a lot more force, and I can control you better, and it also makes it very difficult for you to use your muscles to defend. If I allow you to keep your elbows in tight, to some extent you can use your muscle to defend. If I create ratchet control and I pull your elbow open, now that gets much more difficult. And of course, this isn't just for submissions. If you were playing a kimura trap game, you would do the same thing. If I can keep the person's elbow free, then that's going to allow me to get better control of their body. So just something to think about. Ratchet control is an important concept with a lot of techniques, especially submissions, that involve capturing a limb and rotating it. I hope this helps. As always, everything we make lives at bjjmentalmodels.com, so if you want more mini episodes like this, or more full-length episodes of our podcast, or if you want to kick it up to the next level and join BJJ Mental Models Premium and get a week of that free, you get all of that at bjjmentalmodels.com. Thanks again for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.